is a Rivalry Week edition of the firm of Harris and Meringue.
And that's going to be it. Both teams will come off the side. Oregon will win.
Brought to you by Roto-Rooter, the experts in plumbing, drains, and water cleanup. Oregon versus Oregon State.
If you roll over and die, it's over.
Rivalry Week on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM, 1080 AM, and the Odyssey app.
Hi, friends. Welcome in on a happy Wednesday. Rivalry Week here on the Fan. Pow. Not that you guys know anything about that. Absolutely ridiculous. The rumor I heard today is that Stephen A. Smith is going to announce that he is running for president.
I mean, there's probably harder ways to bill people out of money.
The article I read said that he, all things together, makes like $40 million a year.
I bet you it's more than that.
All things together?
All things together, I bet you it's more than that.
I listen to the MLB Network on in my car, and I have to hear commercials about his show all the time. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, the when you actually get to the very top of this industry, the amount of money that's up there is bonkers.
I know. How many people actually get to the top and are still loved? Like, do people still love The Rock?
No,
You know,
there are people that hate him.
Isn't he like the highest paid male actor in Hollywood? People not like him anymore?
I mean,
I know he's a bad guy in WWE right now.
Cena's probably like
known as a heel.
Cena's probably got the most approval of those guys right now.
Okay. Well, he seems like a great guy.
Like, I mean, he has like the
hangs
world,
out with the cancer kids.
he has the
time.
world record for Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
It's like something like 900 things that he's done. Just absolutely bonkers.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, like everyone hates Bezos. Everyone hates Musk. Everybody hates Stephen A. Pow.
Ballmer's certainly working.
Working his way up there. I mean, people hated Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, and I'm trying to think who at the top becomes likable. A lot of trash talked about T-Swizz.
Oh God, yeah.
I just heard some by a nameless person.
I know, right?
Was not allowed to say their name, so I won't.
See, that's big of you because I want to.
Then do it. I'm not going to do it. Who is at the top of the mountain, but not hated? Scott Van Pelt. Does anybody hate Scott Van Pelt in the sports world?
I saw people like I don't want to hear from Scott Van Pelt, and I was like,
that's a small minority.
What do you mean? SVP's
he's great.
Great. Like what are we doing here, man? Like this is dumb.
Collins at the top of radio. We got a lot of critique on that. Does Dan Patrick take heat at the top of radio?
I'm sure there are people that don't like DP for whatever stupid reason that exists.
What about Eisen? Nah, people can't hate Eisen. He runs the 40 in a suit.
People can, though.
People will hate anybody. I mean, like, general consensus when someone gets to the top.
Yeah, that's just kind of the deal, right? It just comes with it.
Who's the most famous movie actor right now? Is it The Rock? Rusty, you got an idea on this?
Let's do the Google bot.
You could go with The Rock, I think. Yeah.
Like, he's not even The Rock anymore. He's Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, he was always like Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Right.
And like, our generation would still call him The Rock. But like, my kids were talking about him the other day in the car, and they don't know what The Rock is.
There was a couple months ago, I was out with my 8-year-old daughter, and we were in a parking lot, and she looks down and like one of the little median things that's got some dirt and plants in it and stuff, and she goes, look, Dad, it's Dwayne Johnson, and she pointed at a rock.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Your top 5 most popular according to the...
And this isn't highest grossing. This is just most popular.
This is according to all like the search histories and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be influenced by the young, certainly. Tom Holland is number 1.
Oh, okay. I love Tom Holland.
Again, I like him, but also
my kids love Tom Holland.
That's the thing. I think it's more Gen Z. This is
some of them really like Tom Holland. The other one really likes Zendaya.
Yeah, which again, they both look like they're 14, so I don't get it.
Hey, but those 14-year-olds are happy together.
Sure. I got nothing against them, but I always I don't. That whole period when like all the women were swooning over Twilight dude and now Tom Holland, like the dudes that all look like they're 14.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, Pattinson. That's his name.
By the way, low key, my favorite Batman. I loved that. I'm excited for number 2.
It was entirely fine.
I'm excited for
It was
number 2.
entirely fine.
I hope the Penguins in number 2.
Next 4, though. These all make sense. Leo DiCaprio.
Oh, Leo, boom. But see, people don't like Leo because he likes the youngs.
Yes.
Like, he takes a lot of heat for that.
His girlfriend's never older than 25.
Yeah. 25 is pretty old for Leo.
That's what I'm saying. That's the cutoff. Dwayne Johnson.
Okay.
Tom Cruise. ScarJo.
And Tom Cruise takes his heat because of his crazy religious stuff.
And ScarJo gets crap because she gets cast in roles that are not for white people.
Like what?
She was at Ghost in the Shell. She did that, and then she did one other one.
Oh, right, I remember.
And they were like, "Oh, it's whitewashing," and I'm like, "I don't know, man."
I didn't see any of those movies. I don't know anything about
it. They
it.
put the hot woman in the movie.
I told you, I watched the new Jurassic Park movie with ScarJo in it, and the entire time she's just like laughing at how bad this movie is and how much money they're paying her to be in that movie.
Yeah, it pays to be just dumb attractive.
Yeah, it does.
Super helpful.
She's a good actor. I wouldn't say she's a great actor. She's good though.
No, the one who gets killed, who's a smoke show, is Gal Gadot.
Oh,
she gets killed for her acting chops.
Well, she's not a very good actor.
Oh. Again,
clearly not a priority for Danny over here.
Look, what are you casting her for? I don't know. She looks super hot in a metal suit.
Yeah, she does. Great Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Great casting.
Yeah.
Not my favorite movies, but great casting.
No, I mean, it's the thing. It's like the Marvel movies. Like, you can say you don't like them, this, that, or the other, but
they're well done.
Downey Jr., Hemsworth,
they're exciting.
Evans. Like, you want to talk about casting in movies?
It's great.
You couldn't have done better.
Even Bradley Cooper plays a raccoon.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel plays a tree.
Dave Bautista
plays a crazy dude who needs therapy.
Which really isn't that far from kind of like who he is.
I like Bautista a lot.
I guess he said he's done acting. He's just.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like,
man, I was really excited to watch him grow old and like win a couple Oscars because I think he's really good.
What was the Uber movie he did with God, what is his name? Oh God, that's gonna kill me now.
I loved him. He was in the beginning of Blade Runner 2049. I thought he was excellent in that.
Stuber.
That's a dumb name.
It is. It's him and Kumail Nanjiani.
I don't know who that is.
You do.
If you saw his face, you would know who he is.
Okay.
He's in. Think of the ads they're running all the time now with Rob McElhenney and the other guy, and they're in fur coats and like showing their chesticles.
Oh yes, I know who that guy is.
Oh wow.
What?
Crazy. I said you knew something that you didn't know, and you knew it.
Well,
weird.
Blind squirrel finds a nut once.
I'm hitting like 500 on these. What do you mean? I don't know that, and I don't know that. And it's like, yeah, you do. Here you go.
You got to remember, I'm kind of stupid.
I mean,
like, don't forget that. Never underestimate the power of my
that's
stupidity.
And that's why I always say, no, you know.
I think what it is that I just don't pay enough attention sometimes.
Strong chance of that.
He was in the Kenobi show. He was good.
He has made a metric crap ton of side quest appearances.
Yeah, I think he's a Marvel guy too. I think he has a
yeah.
spot
He was Eternals.
The Eternals. Yeah.
Was that any good?
No,
never watched it.
No, it needed to be a TV show.
No,
it needed.
I love whenever you ask somebody, "Hey, is that any good?" No, no.
I mean,
your mouth gets real tiny.
Yeah.
No.
Selma Hayek's in it, and she looks incredible.
Yeah,
and
she's gorgeous.
And even then, you're like, yeah, this is not good.
Is anybody gonna go see the new Rock movie about the fighter?
Apparently, it's winning awards left, right, and center.
It's got Oscar bait written all over it.
Also, if you didn't tell somebody that's The Rock, it would take you a minute to be like, wait, is that? It's not full on, what the hell's his name? The method actor, crazy person. Christian Bale. It's not Christian Bale and...
Penguin?
No.
Oh, that's Colin Farrell,
my bad. What was the one where he lost,
The Machinist.
The Machinist, yeah, where he weighed 110 pounds.
And then he got fat for Dick Cheney.
Yeah. Just
bro, put a suit on. You don't have to actually put on 200 pounds.
Then you get away from method acting, you know?
He was good in that. He was good.
Yeah, he was there's I've come across stories about that in The Machinist, how legitimately unhealthy he was.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because he was he was starving himself.
Russell Crowe's done some of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to see this Rock movie.
You don't like violence.
That's not true. I watch violent movies. I don't like real violence.
Yeah.
I'll watch pretend violence.
Emily Blunt's in it, so
well, that's what I was.
I'm in.
That's what I was going to bring up. I was like, you cast the girlfriend, the wife, whatever her character is, obviously the love interest, the partner to Dwayne Johnson's character. Dude, she's too hot. Like, you cast someone who's too hot.
I'm gonna be a total.
I don't believe it. She's too hot.
I'm gonna be a
Too hot.
total dude. I don't think a woman has ever looked like hotter in modern film than she did. And what was that Tom Cruise movie, Edge of Tomorrow?
Oh yeah, she's great in that.
My God, I didn't know who she was then, and I remember seeing that the first time and going, who made this?
Hey, Cruise looks pretty good in that too. Though.
Look, Tom Cruise is very.
He's starting to age though.
He's very believable.
He's very much starting to age.
I mean, like that's the kind of person who walks into a room and you're like, good God. Speaking of like the hottest an actor or actress has ever looked, him in Collateral
with the gray hair, the spiky.
That's a hot dude.
That's a good looking guy.
That's like that looks like an AI created dude. Like, hey, give me like the hottest old dude you could possibly imagine.
And Jamie Foxx, who I would argue is a more attractive human than Tom Cruise. They made him look like real nerdy. And
they dumbed him down.
Yeah. He's a good looking dude.
Yeah. You want to talk about a guy who's dumb talented? Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. He's funny. He can sing. He can act. Yeah. He's got it all, man.
I've talked about this off air with you plenty of times. I really hate it when somebody is that good at that many things. It bothers me. It's like you can't be that good at that many things and also be that attractive.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I always tell people I'm really good at a lot of things that don't pay very well or nobody cares about.
There you go.
Yeah.
You just your 20-sided die at birth kind of came up with like, hey, we got high rolls on these, but they don't matter.
I used to work with a guy that
was
always
super nerdy.
I used to work with a guy that always had he was a kitchen guy, and he always has a 20-sided dice in his pocket. He plays a lot of those kind of games and stuff. And we used to open the restaurant together, my buddy Grady, and he would always go, all right, what kind of day are we having today? And he'd roll, he's like, ooh, a 12, not so bad. And then I'd roll like a 3, and he's like, damn it, Harris, like, we're all hosed now.
Like, what are you doing, dude? You're messing with the flow. You're not riding the bull.
Oakley dokley. Well, we do got a great show for you planned today. It's rivalry week, so we'll take our chance, take our time in checking in on the Civil War. Tyson Alger, our great friend, will join us at 10:30 for a half hour like he does every Wednesday during the Duck season, so that'll be great. Some more things to get to. 50-50 is an accomplishment. What's next for him? Also, old man Dabo yelling at the cloud. We'll have to get that to that as well. And I've got a real interesting theory on potentially why the Hurricanes are as good as they are and why they could win the national championship. Danny, I'll be interested in your thoughts on my feelings there. But we'll start here. The Civil War is this weekend. What it means, the future, everything in store, and how to look upon this positively, but also how to look on it realistically. That's next. This is Portland Sports Leader, and this is The Firm on 105.1 The Fan. 10:18 here, Portland Sports Leader. Don't you forget it. We are live, baby, from the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge. 503-864-6326. That's the fan text line. She'll let you interact with us throughout the entire show. YouTube.com/1051 The Fan. Come hang out with us on YouTube. We're talking about hall passes over there. On the fan text line, Chadwick Boseman thrown out. Denzel Washington. I know you just tempted me with hot dudes.
Yeah.
Those are both two real good looking men.
And if you want to talk about like dudes that are incredible, Chadwick Boseman doing the hey, I'm gonna do this last role with cancer and nobody else is gonna know about
and
it.
Like visiting cancer kids without them knowing either.
Yeah, dog. And you want to talk about going out just like as a dude.
That's crazy. Good on him.
Yeah.
A little programming change for you today. Tyson Alger will join us at 11 o'clock. He's a little preoccupied.
He's stuck in some meetings.
So we'll have him on at 11. He'll join us for a half hour like he always does. But let's dive right into that. It's the Civil War this weekend. Oregon hosting Oregon State. It's a noon kickoff locally. You can catch that game right here on the Fan Sports Network. Pre-game coverage will start at 8 a.m. right here with the Andy Dirt Johnson, Anthony Newman, Q, one of my favorite dudes in the biz. Jeff Rust will be here. Am I missing anybody else for the morning show? Pre-game? No, that's it. So make sure you check that out right here on the Fan Sports Network. We are home of the Oregon Ducks. And with a game at noon, a game will probably end around 3:30, 4 o'clock, which means post-game action. So you're looking at almost 12 hours of Duck coverage right here on Saturday, and it's a big one this weekend. Maybe not so much on the football field, but I think it's a big one because, a lot of people's emotions are running high or running low.
I was going to say, are they running high?
Well,
I don't think – I didn't realize that it was this bad among Beaver fans. Like, I've been on the golf course the last couple weeks talking to people, and the apathy for this game is just like, I wish we weren't playing.
But what I would –
I'm like, oof, it's that – like, you're – like, I get it. You're not in a good spot. But there's not even like a what if. Like, you can, like, I understand how far the spread is and how sideways it is and all those things, but like, if by some unforeseen miracle that the Ducks just crap the bed and you find a way to win this game, like, there's not like one iota of that, and there's like no.
Well, just because there's apathy and kind of a negative feeling to it, that doesn't take away. I mean, that's still a high feeling emotion. It might not be high energy, it might not be loud and screaming to the sky, but I would argue that that's a lot of emotion. There's a lot to think about that, and I would challenge Oregon State fans, as difficult and as frustrating as this season has started and the outlook of the rest of it, I challenge you to kind of find what you're talking about, Danny. Kind of dig deep down and think about it. Look, did anybody ever think Appalachian State was going to beat
I was going to say
Michigan?
that, and because weren't they like 30-point dogs in that game?
Yeah, man, they were D2 at the time, and Michigan is, this famous Rich Rod, Michigan's finally got a high-powered offense, and they lose in a crazy, crazy fashion. I understand the apathy. I understand the doom and gloom and the frustrations and all that kind of stuff. I completely understand it. I sympathize and empathize from my alma mater's point of view. But I think that there are times when you can let that go and just get back to the basics of it, of just hating your neighbor down the street. I think there's still some to be said about that, and I think you can have a lot of fun with it before the game, the week before, of just having that conversation with your friends. Look, we're gonna have Chris Fetters and Alex Brink on Friday to talk the Apple Cup. Do I think my Cougs got a chance to win this Apple Cup? Absolutely not. I think it's going to be really rough. However, I love getting together with my friends and talking about how much I hate my rival. I love getting together and just talking about how, hey, this might not be fun, but dude, what if it's 7-0 at the end of the first quarter? I think there's still a way that the game itself, no matter how it goes, you can still have a good time. You can still have a fun camaraderie and continue to do this. And I don't remember if I heard it might have been Primetime talking about it last year or yesterday. If it's one time over the next 10 years that you win that game, dude, you're going to go bananas. You're going to go bananas. You're going to love it. 2 years in a row, my Cougs almost beat UW with Michael Penix. They went to the Natty that year. And last year, we beat them. Like, those are fun memories to have, even if we lose the next 20. I don't know. I think there's a place in this world for you to have an appreciation and fun with it, despite what the game on the field is actually going to look like.
Right? Like, there's got to be something there.
It can't be just the rivalries are not just on the field. It's regionality. It's your city versus my city. It's my colors, your colors. It's we all got friends that we really love that went to the other school that when it gets to it, I hate your guts this week. You know, I think it's more than the game, and I would again challenge. I would challenge Oregon fans the same way. Oregon students, alumni, and fans the same way. I respect you for being polite and courteous and understanding the gravity of the situation at Oregon State. Save that for another week, you know?
Yes.
Like I don't want to say I'm full heel here. I'm actually trying to be full face on this. Like, talk S, you know? Talk trash.
What I mean,
are we going to beat you by 50? We're going to beat you by 60. You know, like, I don't know. I think rivalries, again, like, I think what I'm hammering home on this is it's more than what the game is on the field. It's about your state, your conferences, your former conferences, your colors, your friends. I don't know.
It's just going into this as Eeyore. It's like
going into life as Eeyore is a challenge.
It's just like find something. Now, that balloon could get popped very quickly. Then you can go be Eeyore. But like part of fandom is, you know, fan is short for fanatic, man. Like I get it. I as a fan of a team, it's not dealing with this stuff. I know I get all the crap for it. But it's like, come on, man. You guys, Oregon State's a prouder program than that. You are. And you deserve better than that. Yeah, you're not happy with Bray. And yeah, you're not happy with it. Like, don't be apathetic and turn on it. Turn on it in the sense of like, we demand better. Don't turn away, turn on it. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. I think when the demand better, I think you can look at that when you're not playing your rival. Like have how am I trying to say this? It's almost like a family reunion in the sense that, look, I got family members that I cannot stand to be around. And I got family members that I love to be around. And when the family reunion comes around, you're like, oh, man, this isn't going to go well. I'm not really going to enjoy this. I'm going to really struggle. That's my personal struggle when it comes to my extended family. Now, when they get here and they show up, you just kind of make it work and you make it happen. And I think there's a little bit of that. I think once you get out of this rivalry and you start looking at, if you're Oregon State and you start looking at Houston, if you're Oregon, you start looking at Penn State, then you can kind of go back to, okay, we're Oregon fans. We have national championship aspirations, Big Ten title aspirations, trying to repeat. And if you're Oregon State, you can go back to, look, Trent Bray's not the guy. And I really want to, you know, I'm worried about our program and what's the deal with this war chest and the media rights deal. You go to that after this. Like, use this time to kind of, I don't know, celebrate the history. And maybe that's me trying to be cup half full. Maybe that's me trying to be the positive outlook. But as somebody that's in a similar situation, that's how I'm going into my weekend. And there's so many, you guys are blowing up the text line right now, and I absolutely love you for it. And kind of the overall narrative is pretty doom and gloom. And I guess I'm just trying to remember we used to have a lot of fun at this, and I think we still can.
Yes, that's ultimately where I'm at with this. It's like, I get it. Stuff sucks. You don't have to convince me otherwise. But there's got to be something you can find there. There's got to be something, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's it's the pregame. You know, it's the pregame. It's the week leading up. It's talking trash. It's you know, oh, you guys are 35.5-point faves. Cool, we cover.
Right. Something.
Hey, Johnny, I'll bet you $50 we cover the spread. Huh? That game became more interesting now, huh? I don't want to say gambling is what's got to do it, but like find things like that, man. I got so many friends that are Husky fans that I'm already texting all week. Like, you're going down 20 and a half. Oh, man, I thought we were supposed to be bad this year. It's only 20 and a half. What do you guys know anyway? Oh, your head coach is going to leave anyway. You know, Jed Fish won't be at UW anyway, so who cares? Is he already looking at the Florida job? Maybe we'll smoke you this week. I don't know. I think there's a place. I understand things are tough. I do. I really do. And I 100% feel for you on that. But keep playing this game.
Find something.
Yeah, keep playing this game.
Have
fun with it.
That's ultimately where I land on this.
Rant for me over. Let's talk about this actual game, though, as we were going to push Tyson to 11 o'clock so we can get to some stuff before that. I want to know, where do we think Lanning is on this? And I know there's quotes out there and, you know, the respect and the tradition and all that kind of stuff. But how do you coach this game as a team heavily favored against your rival who's, you know, in a doom and gloom spot? How do you coach against that? We'll do that next, but there's Rust with Sports.
This is a Rivalry Week edition of the Firm of Harris and Meringue, brought to you by Roto-Rooter. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, the big dumper now tied with Ken Griffey Jr. for the Mariners' single-season home run record. This after dropping bombs 55 and 56 last night. Cal Raleigh and the M's, they've won 10 straight. Game 2 of 3 at the Royals this afternoon. 4:41 pitch on Root Sports. Bryce Miller starting for Seattle. Cole Reagans for Kansas City. The Mariners still a half game ahead of the Astros for the AL West lead. Over in the NFL, Jets head coach Aaron Glenn announced Tyrod Taylor will start at quarterback Sunday against the Buccaneers as Justin Fields remains in concussion protocol. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo reporting the elbow injury to Chargers linebacker Khalil Mack is not season-ending. After the Commanders lost defensive tackle Dietrich Wise for the season with a torn left quad, they're reuniting with veteran pass rusher Preston Smith, who spent the first 4 years of his career in Washington. He then spent time with the Packers before being traded to the Steelers midway through last season. And Packers receiver Jaden Reed had surgery on his broken clavicle and a Jones fracture in his left foot. Head coach Matt LaFleur says they expect him back at some point this season. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Firm of Harris and Meringue. Weekdays 10 to 1. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Coming up at the 11 o'clock hour, we'll have Tyson Alger on to join us and chat with us about what to expect from this game. And I'm going to ask him this question. It's the question that I would like to open up for discussion right now as well. Your thoughts are continuously welcome. 503-864-6326 is the text line or the YouTube chat as well. How do you think Lanning coaches this game? Obviously, he can say what he wants, publicly about how he felt about Mike Gundy's comments at Oklahoma State before they played them. It was clear, talk S, get hit sort of thing. But I'm curious how you approach a game like this. Like, do coaches hear all this chatter? I know they hear it, but how much stock do they take in to this chatter about, the concerns from the fan base and the uncertainty of the head coach and what Scott Barnes, the AD, has to say? Like, how much does that run through Lanning's brain?
I think Lanning, being a dude from the South, he understands the rivalry part of it. His line about like how much it means to a guy like Bryce Betcher because even though Oregon State is in the position right now, guys like Bryce who grew up here and other guys that are on that team who grew up here or in the region, they do know what this is. Mm-hmm. Now, 10, 15 years down the road, I don't know.
Right.
We don't know what this is going to be, and we don't know, like, it may not matter to those guys, and that will be awful if it went down that path. But to those guys, even though they're half our age, they might not have grown up in a time when they saw great Oregon State teams. But also, there's guys on this roster right now for Oregon that saw 13 straight running plays.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's not an unfamiliar taste in their mouth as far as having the orange and black walking away with a win.
A 4-8 season for the Ducks wasn't that long ago.
No, and so there are guys that know what that is. What I wonder is, Lanning seems like the kind of guy where Dion and Gundy, who ran their mouth, like, I'm going to show you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say Lanning is going to have mercy, because that seems unfair.
And I think that's demonstrative and down-talking to Oregon State.
But
I don't think he's that kind of guy.
But I don't think he would ever say it like that. But I do think that he would call off the dogs.
I do think so, too. Because I don't know what you gain from it.
I think there's a respect thing there. Mm. And if he doesn't, I don't think it's disrespectful. But I don't think he's going to look at this. Let's say it just gets so out of hand that it's just like, oh, no.
Well,
I think he goes third, fourth string pretty quick.
I think one of the tough things, though, it's also just kind of bad timing, because this is like your tune-up for Penn State. I think that's what makes it tough. This is your tune-up for the biggest game on your schedule. Yeah. So calling off the dogs early out of respect, out of mutual admiration, whatever you want to say, that doesn't talk down to the Oregon State program is difficult, because you need these reps. You need third and fourth quarter reps. And I don't know if it's second, third string reps that you need. You need to be tight. You need to be ready to rumble, because your college football national championship playoff implications, Big Ten title, are on the line.
Yeah, everything hinges on that game.
Everything hinges on that game. And I don't know if you can afford, that. I was not one that believes this, but if the chatter comes out of Northwestern, what about the run defense? If that truly is a concern from Lanning, he can't focus on that for 2 quarters. He's got to focus on it for 4. Going into Penn State.
Well, here's the thing. If they have, for whatever reason, they have some question that arises early in the game against Oregon State, I think they hammer it down hard.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the run defense, and again, Oregon State hasn't been able to run the ball at all through the season, which that's not a shortage of running backs. It's that offensive line is just not good.
Right.
It's just it is what it is, and that's which is such a bummer, because Oregon State is historically very good in that position group.
Mm.
But if Oregon State is somehow able to run the ball,
wow.
But then I think Lanning maybe hammers that down. But I think the biggest thing for Oregon is getting out of that game healthy.
Yes. Attrition for sure. That's probably the number one thing, and that's something I'll definitely ask. We'll ask Tyson about. What is the goal here? I think the goal is to be professional, and I think the goal is to get out healthy And the goal is to make sure that all your departments, all three phases, and your sub-departments of three phases look sharp and look ready to go, that are on the same page. Communication isn't an issue. Your brain's in the right spot because your season's big next week. And I think that's just the challenging thing for Oregon State in this situation is that there are other things that the team you're playing are looking at. And it's just kind of bad timing, which is why I fight for rivalry games to be at the end of the season. I want you at your best.
Yeah. I'm going back and forth
And
on that.
And after that, it's just like conference title games and stuff like that. I know it's different. These teams aren't, the two rivalries that play this weekend aren't in the same conference anymore. So that makes it tough. But, I mean, Florida and Florida State play at the end of the year. Georgia and Georgia Tech play at the end of the year. You can make it work.
I do like that, certainly, the rivalry game at the end of the season. But maybe it's just because of where Oregon State's at right now. I just have a reeling suspicion that the apathy is only going to get stronger.
Well, it depends on how they react.
And then how sideways do things get then? Like, you want to talk about not caring about a game? Let's say they've got 2 wins coming into that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then it's like, boy.
Yeah, but I guess, and again, I don't.
And again,
mean
it's probably more individual to this season than anything else.
I don't mean to go glass half full again, or like give you false hope by any means. But by the end of the season, if you are only 2 games in, at least you kind of know what you're good at and what you're bad at. And maybe you're bad at everything, and maybe you're good at running the football, but you can't throw the ball. I don't know. Maybe you can stop the run, but you can't play pass defense. I don't know. I think by the end of the year, you still kind of have a better idea of your identity and where you sit.
I agree with that. I mean, again, I think I'm looking at the lens through just probably this season.
Yeah.
So,
all right, we come back. We'll have Tyson Alger on, and we'll chat with him about the Civil War and what it means to him and what it means going forward. So stick with us. Loaded second hour. Don't go anywhere. 105.1 The Fan.
You could think
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Jeff Rust with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, the Big Dumper now tied with Ken Griffey Jr. for the Mariners' single-season home run mark. This after dropping bombs 55 and 56 last night. Cal Raleigh and the M's now winners of 10 straight. Game 2 of 3 at the Royals this afternoon. 4:40 first pitch on Root Sports. Bryce Miller on the bump for Seattle. Cole Reagans for KC. The Mariners still a game and a half ahead of the Astros for the AL West lead. Over in the NFL, Jets head coach Aaron Glenn announced Tyrod Taylor will start at quarterback Sunday against the Buccaneers as Justin Fields remains in concussion protocol. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo reporting the elbow injury to Chargers linebacker Khalil Mack not season-ending. After the Commanders lost defensive tackle Dietrich Wise for the season to a torn left quad, they're reuniting with veteran pass rusher Preston Smith, who spent the first 4 years of his career in Washington. And Packers receiver Jaden Reed had surgery on his broken clavicle and a Jones fracture in his left foot. Head coach Matt LaFleur says they expect him back at some point this season. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's Window into the Fan. It's about to get unruly.
Order in the court.
It's Rivalry Week. Ducks. Beavers. This is a Rivalry Week edition of the Firm of Harris and Meringue, brought to you by Roto-Rooter, the experts in plumbing, drains, and water cleanup.
Ankerson, he'll take the direct snap, little stutter step, and push his way to the goal line. Touchdown.
Keeping the peace from 10 to 1 on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM, 1080 AM, and the Odyssey app.
All right, welcome into hour number 2 here. If you missed any of the first hour, you can download that, the Fan Podcast, 1051thefan.com. The Odyssey app, which will let you rewind and fast forward, except for into the future. That would be crazy. Or you can check it out wherever you get your podcasts. Also on the YouTube feed, we'll let you go back and see prior shows. Again, you can rewind and fast forward on there too, just not into the future. Usually we have him on at 10:30 on Wednesdays as he joins us every Wednesday throughout the Ducks season. A little change in the schedule today. That ain't a problem here. We're good to flow. But he is Tyson Alger of the I-5 corridor. Lookout Eugene Springfield. Tyson, hello, friend. Sorry to take you away from meetings. I'm sure you're like all of us who love meetings.
Well, you know, like many things, I feel like it could have been an email, but thankfully, this live interaction just can't be replicated in the written form. So I appreciate you guys being flexible today.
Anytime, brother. We're happy to have you. Happy to have you. Let's rewind before we look ahead real quick. You know, talk coming out of the Northwestern game, first of all, just the spectacle that was watching that on television from our perspective is kind of wild. There's some people coming out of that game worried about the rush defense, etc. Do you think we're just kind of nitpicking how the end of that game went? Because let's not forget it was 34-0 at one point. Or did you see some potential little cracks there?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of truth in both. I think a large part of that is the fact that the first 2 weeks of the season, what was Oregon's average winning margin, like 50 points or so, 55 points. And so, you know, you get to a game where you only win by, 3 touchdowns or so. And that's our first opportunity to pounce, to dissect, to go, oh, here's what they need to work on, because you didn't see a ton of that in the first 2 weeks. That being said, 79 of those 170 rushing yards came on Northwestern's final play from scrimmage. It was a 79-yard run. They also had a 40-yard pass in there. So I think if you kind of look at the total yardage numbers, that's a little bit inflated just because Oregon had the game in hand on the road going into the fourth quarter. Like I think it's natural that there might be a little bit of a let up there. And on the same accord, like I'm completely fine with Dan Lanning and the staff being like, that's not how we want to finish. Especially you have another kind of not the toughest game coming up this week, and then it gets really hard with Penn State. So I think that they're just really kind of analyzing every opportunity they have to make sure that this group is locked in. But, looking at the score and going like, oh, did Northwestern give like Oregon a run? Like, no, like Oregon was in complete control of that whole game. It's really the first time that we've seen an opposing team kind of compile some consistent drives and plays and kind of get the ball across midfield against the Ducks. But like every time Northwestern came across midfield, somebody on Oregon made a play, whether it was the 2 linebacker interceptions or a couple of sacks, or, frankly, Northwestern just seemed to like it wanted to step on its own rake around the field. It just, every time it got the ball around midfield, it seemed like they either took a penalty or a fumble. So there were a lot of kind of miscues there, but one of the important things for this Oregon team, they're a very young team. They were on the road and they didn't shoot themselves in the foot. No penalties in the game is a pretty substantial effort. That hasn't happened since 2000. I know Dan Lanning says, you get what you preach, but this is an Oregon team that even under Lanning in his first 4 years hasn't always been that clean. And so, for them to take this group, go on the road, no penalties, win by 3 touchdowns, setting up a rivalry game with Oregon State. Like I think the Ducks are in an okay place right now.
Tyson, last week when you had you on, I asked you if Northwestern would give Oregon something for Lanning to chew on. Do you think that they got that he got enough out of that, whether it be the rush defense or not playing that clean game where he could spend the weekend and the first couple of days kind of being a jerk, because you can't be a jerk when you're blowing teams out, but you don't have to dive like to the minuscule. Do you think he got enough to be like, hey, dummies, if we do this against Penn State, this isn't going to work? Do you think he got enough of that?
Yeah, I think he got enough to at least keep him busy on the flight back. You can look at that rush defense, and I know I just said 79 of those yards came on one play, but that was kind of the one interesting aspect, at least in the first half of the game, was they were getting some yardage up the middle. Oregon's got these huge hulking defensive linemen up the middle, whether it be Amari Washington or Barrett Alexander. And it just didn't seem like that the tackling was quite as sharp as it had been the first couple of weeks. And that's something, we talked to the linebackers this week, talking to Jerry Mixon. He said one of the things that he's just really need to be better at is tackling. And so, yeah, like I think there's plenty for them to look at on the offensive side of the ball. I think maybe they told Dante Moore to not throw that ball the next time on the one interception he had, but it was also kind of funny listening to him post-game talk about the fact that before the game, Will Stein mentioned like, hey, it's windy, but we're gonna chuck it. And Dante's like, all right. And I think you kind of saw the result of that on that play. But yeah, I mean, like this is an Oregon. I came away impressed from this game because this was an Oregon team that didn't quite have it as crisp as they did the first 2 weeks, but they found ways to make plays. They were advantageous, especially on defense. And they came away with a convincing win against a team that I do think is better than the first 2 that they played this season.
I'm going to keep Tyson Alger joins us here from I-5 Corridor and Lookout Eugene Springfield. I'm going to keep asking this question until you tell me to just shut up. But 7 guys register for a carry, 8 if you include Dante Moore. Is this what we're going to see all year? The pass it around and let different guys go, or are we using these games to figure out by the time we get to Penn State who are top 3 guys? Or like I said, is this just a continuation of 7 guys getting the ball every game?
I don't think we're going to see 7 guys get the ball against Penn State. Now, I'm not sure who the 3 guys that get the ball against Penn State's going to be, because at this point, it's another week of going like looking at the box score and seeing how many carries Mekhi Hughes had. But I think it's just a product of the Ducks have a handful of guys right now that can be pretty darn productive. And I think what we've seen during the first 3 weeks is just a continued test for them to see, okay, like if I give you a little bit more responsibility, what do you do with it? And I think it's just kind of not an extended open tryout, but I think that's the one position where the depth chart is truly fluid. Again, I know that Hughes was the big guy coming in. He was close to a 1,500-yard rusher last year, but there's a reason he initially went to Tulane instead of, an Oregon. And Oregon's able to commit pretty good running backs right out of high school that have a high pedigree, that have size, that have a lot of the things that Hughes has. And that's not to say that Hughes is lacking in those things, but I think it's just a much more competitive depth chart and running back room than probably what he faced in Tulane. And so, again, I'm still not ready to write him off as a non-contributor this year, but I think what we've seen, the first 2 weeks out of Noah Whittington before he got banged up before this week, and just the continued contributions from players like Jaden Lamar or just some of the other guys behind him, it's probably I don't want to say it's the deepest position that Oregon has, but it has the most amount of dudes who are around the same skill level that can all produce. And so I think it's going to be another game, at least this Saturday, of a fair amount of guys getting carries before they really lock that in when the season gets tougher.
Well, let's look at that game Saturday. And it doesn't have the same juice, to say the least. But it almost feels like the storyline that's coming out of this has almost nothing to do with Oregon and everything to do with Oregon State. How do you think Lanning approaches this game?
I asked Mike Bellotti about this yesterday. Former Oregon coach. I was like, do you feel bad for Oregon State? Like, going into this game, put yourself in Dan Lanning's shoes. Like, how do you approach this? And he said he was reminded of a game that they had probably 20 years ago or so. He doesn't remember who they were playing. He just knows that they were a huge favorite. And he was talking to Phil Knight about that, saying he was uncomfortable being the favorite. And he said Phil just looked at him and he said, Mike, it's simple. Just win, baby. And so I think that's probably ultimately the message that Lanning's coming into this with. Like, I know he's done a decent job of playing into the rivalry and saying the right things about, we want to continue this game and it's important for the state and all those sorts of things. But also, like, Lanning's big goal here is to win football games and win a national championship. Like, I don't think deep down truly he has a whole bunch of feelings towards Oregon State. And so, like, I think it's, a little bit of a tightrope to walk because you don't want to disrespect a program or a rivalry that's been around for 129 years. But ultimately, like, this isn't the big game for the Ducks. This is a game where the Ducks need to win, they need to play well, and they need to get themselves into the Penn State week healthy. And it's kind of just unfortunate that that's what it's come down to because, for the first 125 years of this rivalry, this was the last game of the season until the postseason. Like, you didn't kind of have to worry about what was next, or you didn't have to worry about resting guys or, all those sorts of things. So it's more complicated, but at the end of the day, I think Dan Lanning would be just as happy to do to Oregon State what they did to Oklahoma State, Montana State, and Northwestern.
He's Tyson Alger. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this game plus the future. And I'm curious, from a journalistic standpoint, where you stand on the future of this game. So hang out with us. Don't go anywhere. Tyson Alger will stick with us. One more here on the Oregon Ducks and the Oregon State Beavers Civil War this weekend at noon. This is The Firm, 105.1 The Fan. move some things around. Happy to adapt, and we're just glad that Tyson Alger can still join us for 2 segments, as he always does on Wednesdays. Make sure to check out the I-5 corridor. You can also catch him at Lookout Eugene Springfield, as he is our Ducks guy every single Wednesday. Remember, you can hear the Ducks game right here on The Fan. That's a 12 o'clock kick on the Fan Sports Network. Pregame, postgame, everything you need leading up to that game. And Tyson, thanks again for your time, and we'll kind of dive right back into this. And I'm curious, you said something, and again, Danny brought up a good point. I think he's kind of right. This game feels so much more about where Oregon State is, and instead of the fact that Oregon's clamoring for a national title and back-to-back Big Ten championships, etc. But you mentioned how important it is for the state. Could you ever see this get to a point where it's not important? Because I feel like some fan base feel like this game is not important anymore.
Oh man, it depends on how long of the hiatus we have here. With this being the last year that it's scheduled, I know that they've been in talks to potentially get it back somewhat soon. But the thing that I think we've seen with history and tradition is, especially in this age where attention spans are slow and how quickly information changes, and just like how much we have available. Like if they stop playing the games, or if they stop being a semblance of competitive, like what are we really celebrating here? Like I know that there's still a lot more that goes into it than just like the on the field product. It's the state coming together. It's Oregon fans versus Oregon State fans, and the house is divided and all that sort of thing. And there's so much like history that used to be around it. But I was out at a high school practice in Junction City yesterday, which is just about in between Corvallis and Eugene. And 30 years ago, when someone like Josh and Justin Wilcox were playing for Junction City, like that was an Oregon State school. It was, most of the kids were Oregon State fans. Like that's who they cheered for. And the kind of the Ducks people were outliers. And I asked them about it today now, and he's like, everybody's Ducks here. And it's just changed. It's evolved. Like it's Oregon's kind of the team that has absorbed a lot of the kind of the middle ground of it. And so it's, you talk to a lot of the current players right now. It was interesting at media yesterday, because 2 of the players that they came out to talk about the rivalry game are 1-year transfer guys who come in here, they play for a year, they leave. Like this is going to be their only experience with it. And, in the past years, they've always kind of had leaders or guys who've been around kind of lean into the rivalry and bring all the other people up to speed. And there's been a bit of that this year, like Bryce Betcher, the Eugene guy, the kind of the guy that you want to attach to a Civil War story when it comes to being like a walk-on who came to Oregon and then earned a scholarship and turned into a Big Ten All-American, like that sort of guy. Like he's kind of leading that charge a little bit. But at some point, like the institutional knowledge of what this rivalry was or could be or the history of it, like that's going to start to disappear. And if you don't have new memories or new reasons to watch it right now, I think it's just hard to continue that. Like if you were to ask somebody, like, what are you looking forward to about this game, and you say you can't lean on the history or the rivalry, the nostalgia of that, like what are you looking forward to in this game? I think it's tough to find a reason for that in the current climate of college football. And as much as I love the in-state rivalry and think it's important to what college football used to be, college football, on the other hand, has kind of like looked at all of us and said, like, what you think used to be important isn't important anymore. So, it's just a weird spot to be, because I'm in the chorus of people who are like, money's ruined the game and has ruined a lot of our traditions and all these sorts of things. But like, things evolve so quickly. Like, who knows what it's going to look like 20 years from now? Like maybe Oregon struggles at some point and Oregon State comes back and laps them. It looks pretty inconceivable at this moment in time, but we're just in a different era. And I think a lot of the memories and reasons for watching this game are from a past era.
Kind of dovetailing off that, Tyson, what does a successful week for Oregon State look like? Is there before we hand you on, I want to preface it with this. We kind of debated where Oregon State is at and with fandom, and the idea that I've kind of settled on for Oregon State fans is don't turn away from the program, turn on the program.
Yeah.
In the sense of don't be apathetic. If you're angry, be angry. Show up with Fire Bray and Fire Barn signs, and show up in mass and do it something like that. If that's where the vitriol is at. Is there anything on or off the field for Oregon State this weekend that could be kind of a watershed moment or something, some sort of positive momentum?
I mean, if apathy is not what you're looking for, there's probably two outcomes this week that could be positive for the program in the long run. One would be maybe snap the ball cleanly, no penalties, maybe no cussing on live TV at halftime. Like just go out there. Like, for instance, I don't think Northwestern fans are upset about what happened with the Ducks this weekend. The Ducks blew them out, but Northwestern came. They played competent football. They knew they were outmatched in talent and depth and money and all those things, but they came out and they looked well prepared, and I thought they represented well considering the circumstances. It would be great if Oregon State came out and did that, but Oregon State hasn't come out and do that in any of their first two games of the season, or any of their games of the season so far, and they're going to be playing a significantly tougher opponent than they will face all season. So I'm not really leaning towards with what we've seen so far from Oregon State, with them coming out and playing their best game of the season and representing well. On the other hand of that, if you don't want a fan base that just has apathy, maybe the best thing is for the Ducks to come out and win 80-0, and for them to actually take action and to have the fan base be pretty ticked off, and for them to, I haven't covered Oregon State enough this year to know whether Trent Bray's the right coach or the good coach, but I was glad Bill Oram wrote something like that, just because it takes a stance. It's somebody who cares, and I think the worst thing that can happen to Oregon State right now is kind of playing in this kind of middle ground of, a lot of bad things happen to us, but we got our guys, and we're, we believe in us, but you got to do something. You can't just sit back and wait and let college football happen to you. That's not how it works in this day and age. And so I either want to see big improvement or I want to see a change. And I think that's probably, hopefully, where the fan base is too.
We'll get you out of here on this, Tyson Alger, as he joins us, the I-5 corridor, and Lookout Eugene Springfield. We're starting to see coaches getting fired in across the nation, whether it's UCLA, Virginia Tech, and I know, everybody's waiting for the moment of Billy Napier, and the thought of Jed Fish bouncing from UW and potentially taking that job, et cetera, all that talk. Have you heard anything, or do you have any sort of inclination that Will Stein's name could get brought up and Oregon could be in a situation where they're looking for another new offensive coordinator?
I think Will Stein's going to be one of the more attractive candidates in the country this year. He was getting hyped before this season. I remember, I think it was Andy Staples released his list of top 10 coordinators in the country, and he had Will Stein at number one. And there was part of me initially that was like, well, Will Stein's had two pretty good quarterbacks to work with. Let's see how it looks this year. And he's taken his third different quarterback, and while, yes, I do think Dante Moore's pretty talented, he's put up some pretty good stats so far. And so to be able to run an offense so efficiently between three different kind of eras of players and quarterbacks, I think that's incredibly impressive. And doing it on the stage that you're at with Oregon, Oregon coordinators in the past have been hired as head coaches. I mean, you can look at Scott Frost, you can look at Joe Moorhead, you can kind of go down the list, and
Mark Helfrich.
Mark Helfrich. It's a platform job. So, I don't know what would be necessarily the best fit for him, but generally, when you're a really good football team, your coordinators are kind of the guys who get the biggest lift from that. And what's fascinating about the Ducks this year, this is 3 years in a row where they've had the same offensive and defensive coordinator, which is pretty wild. And I would expect Oregon to have to probably replace at least one of those guys this coming off season if they continue to play at this pace.
This is your chance, Tyson. What are you writing this week? Pump yourself.
I got a Q&A with Mike Bellotti coming out tomorrow morning, where we talked about his favorite Civil War memories. We talked about what it means for him to see Phil Knight get his own jersey, because Mike was essentially the guy that kind of fostered the relationship between Oregon and Phil, and getting kind of that engaged in the late 90s. And we also talked a little bit about, his thoughts for how well Oregon's positioned post-Phil. People are getting old, and it's something that people are talking about. So got some interesting comments from Bellotti on that. And then On Friday, I have a little story about some small town football out in Junction City between Corvallis and Eugene, and how, yes, we'll talk ad nauseum about how football has been ruined, but in small little pockets, you still got that love for the game. So it's just a nice little piece coming out on Friday.
He is Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor. Go check it out. Also, look out. Eugene Springfield joins us every single Wednesday. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the last Civil War. Hopefully, it's only the last one for a couple years.
Yeah, absolutely, boys. Thank you.
Yeah, also, Kenyon Sadiq is an absolute man-child still. I had to make sure I got my Sadiq thing in there.
He's not bad. He's not bad.
Thanks, Tyson. Be good. Enjoy the game.
All right, later, boys. Bye.
He is Tyson Alger, as I said, of the I-5 corridor. Go check out that Bilotti piece. Is going to be great. I'm really fascinated to hear that, especially future Phil Knight stuff. That's the big question. I mean, we talked about it at length with Oklahoma State when T-Boone adios, how much that can change the program.
Phil Knight going full Al Davis. It's hilarious.
I think that,
just win, baby?
Yeah, just win, baby. All right, when we come back, we'll take a little break and get into this. If you got 50-50, are we just going to start making up stats for this guy? Absolutely insane. But first, we'll toss it over to the Kahuna with sports.
You ever had a big Kahuna burger?
This is a Rivalry Week edition of the Firm of Harris and Meringue, brought to you by Roto-Rooter. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, the Big Dumper now tied with Ken Griffey Jr. for the Mariners' single-season home run record. This after dropping bombs 55 and 56 last night. Cal Raleigh and those Mariners, they've won 10 in a row. Game 2 of 3 at the Royals this afternoon. 4:40 first pitch on Root Sports. Bryce Miller on the bump for Seattle. Cole Reagans for Kansas City. The Mariners still a half game ahead of the Astros for the American League West lead. Over in the NFL, Jets head coach Aaron Glenn announcing Tyrod Taylor will start at quarterback Sunday against the Buccaneers as Justin Fields remains in concussion protocol. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo reporting the elbow injury to Chargers linebacker Khalil Mack is not season-ending. After the Commanders lost Dietrich Wise for the season to a torn left quad, they are reuniting with veteran pass rusher Preston Smith, who spent the first 4 years of his career in Washington, and Packers wide receiver Jaden Reed having surgery on his broken clavicle and a Jones fracture in his left foot today. Head coach Matt LaFleur says they expect him back at some point this season. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of dirt and spray. Weekday morning, 6 to 10 a.m. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Drunk Stroker.
Big ass boy. Yeah, dang.
Swagalicious.
All right, we got a lot to get to for the rest of the day. We spent an hour and a half there on the Civil War. We'll check back in later on the week as we get closer and closer to the game. But we'll take a pause from college football here for a moment, from the Civil War specifically. As yesterday, history was made once again, and I'm starting to ask the question, how many more times will history be made by a man named Shohei Ohtani? As last night, he becomes the first player with 50 home runs as a hitter and 50 strikeouts as a pitcher. Are we just going to keep making up stats and historical values for him? What happens when he becomes 100 RBIs and 100 strikeouts in a season?
Look, I am a Shohei believer.
I think we all are.
Everything about the dude. I get that this is a first, but 50 Ks is not that number.
Well, I know, but I think it's because the only higher it's ever been, I think the
Ruth,
answer
right?
is Ruth, and it's like 32 and 28, something like that.
So he didn't get 30-30. Okay. Again, I understand how rare this is.
He is the ultimate. They called Kristaps Porzingis the unicorn.
Yeah.
Bro ain't a unicorn compared to Shohei.
No. And look, if Shohei was doing 50 home runs, 100 strikeouts, and again, he has the opportunity next season,
year, yeah.
Like, then I think we can, or 50, 150. Like, then we're talking about something.
50, 200.
You know what I mean? Like,
you think this is a little like on a Tuesday night in Wrigley when the lights are on and
Yeah.
the wind's blowing from
Like,
the east?
don't get me
He's
wrong.
7 of 7 with 6 home runs.
it's crazy, and it's also hilarious that with the Dodgers last night, he has that performance, and then
Did
the
he
Dodgers,
no-hit?
the Dodgers blow it. The pen comes in and just chokes it all
Bullpen
away.
is so garbage.
It's like, yo, what? What did you do? It's full on. Like, apparently the Angels stink followed him. I guess like you have
well,
this.
he won a World Series.
I know, but
last year.
you know what I mean. Of like the Shohei does something that's never been done before, still loses. It's like, wait,
is true.
what? He threw a shutout. How did he lose? You know what I mean? Like one of those things. But no, like it has the air of like the funny stats, but also it's like, again, we've talked about this, in the 500,000 baseball games that have ever been played in the 160
years.
plus years, this has never been done. So anytime a baseball record that comes out with round numbers in it, I'm always like, that's pretty nuts. But by this standard, like, 50 strikeouts is not, it's not a number. The only time you ever care about 50 strikeouts is a pitcher in their first 5 starts has 50 strikeouts. You know what I mean? Like Kerry Wood or Strasburg, or name whatever, prominent holy crap pitching prospect hits 50 Ks faster than any pitcher of all time. 50 strikeouts doesn't matter in any way, shape, matter, or form outside of early career context.
Who else in sports? Does anybody else get Shohei treatment?
Where you kind of like build the numbers around them?
Or like, you're so unbelievable, we've never seen anything like this, that we'll just let you kind of be you. Like my thought on this is that there have been many times where I'm talking about, I think that guy's the best player in baseball, not named Shohei Ohtani. My example is Magic Johnson. The way I talk about Magic. When we talk about the greatest point guards of all time, I don't talk about Magic because Magic is more than a point guard.
Sure.
Magic is a basketball player and could play all 5 positions, 6'9", and just one of the all-time greats to ever play the game. I would say he is kind of like Shohei, and just I don't live in a world with anybody else. Because I don't think we've ever really seen that in football. Travis Hunter trying, but he's not Shohei.
I mean, who it was? It's the greatest baseball player of all time.
It's the Ruthian?
No, it's Bonds. We talked about this the other day off air.
Shohei has more 50 home run seasons than Barry Bonds.
I know. We talked about this off air the other day when I can't remember what stat made me look it up, and I was like, oh, you brought up Shohei. He's like, he's got a 420 on base percentage over the last 19 games. I was like, Barry Bonds was over 600 for a season.
2004?
2004. He did stuff. That was the year he had 122 intentional walks. It was something insane like that. I think he had 41 strikeouts and 240 walks.
Dude,
it's just
an on-base percentage of 600 is stupid.
6 out of 10 times you're getting on base. Like that's such a, that's where it's just so far above and beyond anything will. No, but I am very comfortable sitting here right now saying nobody will ever in the game of baseball ever approach that ever again.
600 on base percentage.
No one will ever come anywhere close to that.
No, probably not. I mean, if somebody would, it'd be Shohei. I mean, Judge is pretty good at it too. You know, he bats for average, so his on-base percentage is pretty nice. Soto's on-base percentage is over 400. 600 is a lot.
Like, that's so far in another galaxy that you just don't.
Any other sports other than baseball?
Honestly,
is Gretzky the guy in hockey? Because assists and goals.
Because even if you take away his, you take away his goals, he still is the points leader because his assist number is so far out that Ovi obviously just passed Gretzky, the highest goal scorer of all time, and he has half the points.
Right.
Because the other one's Will. It's Will Chamberlain.
Will Chamberlain, 503-864-6326. This person says maybe Bo Jackson. Football and baseball because of his duality if he had stayed healthy. I mean, Bo's a great point. Because Bo's high level in both sports.
Two years, because he was an all-star for the Royals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like those 2 years, was that 90, 91? I think those are the 2 seasons where he was remotely healthy. And the crazy thing is, people forget, as great as Bo was, he was sharing a backfield with Marcus Allen. Like, he wasn't getting 350 carries.
Dude, is Marcus Allen like the most non-respected great running back of all time?
Marcus Allen is the Clyde Drexler of the NFL.
Without a doubt.
Like, Clyde Drexler was very clearly like the second best player in the NBA for like 3 years.
Until a dude named Michael came around and won 6 titles.
He was the guy in between
for sure.
Magic and Jordan.
Yep.
Like, and then Jordan passed him and Magic fell behind him, but Clyde was still there as like
never
number
really
2.
Got his spot, yeah.
And it's like Marcus Allen is one of the 5 best running backs in the history of the game. And it's like
we always think of Barry and Bo even. We give Bo more flowers than Marcus.
It's like up until I want to say like 15 years ago, Marcus Allen had the most touchdowns in NFL history.
I know. I feel like I hear Thurman Thomas's name more than Marcus Allen. No shot at Thurman because I love Marcus Allen. I don't want to sit here and honk your squad, but Marcus Allen was an absolute monster.
Emmitt Smith played longer. Marcus Allen was better.
Yeah, I got to watch Marcus Allen when he was in Kansas City. I don't have Raider days.
Still grosses me out.
When we come back, this guy, back-to-back web gems for this guy. He just can't quit it, can he? Web gems is next. Everybody's favorite, 105.1 The Fan.
Sometimes it's good.
Aw, I've interrupted happy time.
Sometimes it's bad.
No, son of a...
It's Web Gems.
What'd you do?
The Firm of Harris and Meringue on the Fan Sports Network. 105.1 and 1080 The Fan.
All right, this is Web Gems, everybody's favorite. Do it every single day at 11:45. I'll give you a little preview of the nooner, the big nooner.
A little afternoon delight, if you will.
Grandpa Death Valley might need to go to bed. He's very, very angry. What's with these old curmudgeons? I guess they're not old, but he'll tell you that he's
That was
not
like
old.
55, right?
I know. He'll tell you he's not old. Stay
Like-
tuned for that.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Isn't Gundy
20
older?
years ago.
I think that was 18 years ago.
Yeah,
years
Gun. Like if it just like off the top of my head asked me who's older, Gundy or Dabo, I would have said Dabo.
Yeah, me too. Do we have the next Chris Wanke as somebody's looking for their 7th year of eligibility? A lot to get to in the final hour. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're having a great time today. This story comes to you from Saudi Arabia. Have you heard the place? Have you heard of the place?
Heard of it?
Heard nothing but good things about it over there.
The
Just
future
wonderful people.
the-
The royalty are just fantastic.
the future capitalistic overlords of planet Earth. They are going to host a flag football tournament. And a part of that flag football tournament will be 7-time Super Bowl champion Thomas Brady. Also active NFL players Christian McCaffrey, Sauce Gardner, CeeDee Lamb, Saquon Barkley, Myles Garrett, Tyreek Hill, and Brock Bowers and Max Crosby will all take a part in the situation as well.
Let's just call it a spade a spade. This is their way of circumventing the foreign investment in the NFL.
Without a doubt.
That's what this is.
Bring this around. I was kind of surprised to see some of the names on this list.
Do you like money?
Some of these guys on this list I know like money. What's up, Tyreek Hill? I'm wondering if Tyreek Hill will have a passport at that time. Unless you are, I don't know if you can, how many countries will let you in if you are a convicted felon?
Well, I mean,
allegedly.
Saudi, they might be a non-extradition state, so if you needed to go somewhere.
Yeah. I think this is strange. Like I know the fantasy football is coming up as an Olympic thing. Is there a time when you really can just say, I'm not interested in that kind of money?
Saudi Arabia does not have a formal extradition policy with the United States.
Leo Messi said no to Saudi money.
Cristiano did not.
Well, he has no soul.
Yes.
So that's part of that.
Also, $500 million
a year.
Wasn't it $250 a year?
I think so, yeah.
I think it was a 2-year, $500 million deal. Wasn't that what it was?
On top of all his...
on top of being the highest earning
athlete in the world.
Yeah.
Number 2 Instagram guy in the world, I
Yeah.
think, if he's not still number 1.
Yeah.
Tom said he's bringing home the trophy. Who are they playing against?
I don't care.
Is this Cristiano Ronaldo playing a bunch of Saudi dudes I've never heard of?
No, it's Rajon Rondo.
I would pay to watch Tom go against Rajon Rondo.
Look, the whole thing of like trying to make flag football a thing. Look, for kids, great. For adults, man, like I know
you're anti-flag football.
I don't care. Like we're gonna play flag football in the Olympics, and I'm like, give me breakdancing.
I care if dudes lay out and like have sick ass catches. I care about that.
It's not my look. It's not my jam. It's not my Huckleberry. It's just like I'm not gonna poop on it, but I have zero interest in it.
I think
like
some of
it's getting pumped into ESPN, and I'm just like, I don't want to watch either of them, but I would rather watch the fat guy play cornhole
or curling.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I love the mustache.
No. Do not besmirch curling. As somebody who was stationed in North Dakota and participated at the Grand Forks Curling Club.
Of course you were.
I do like watching curling.
Me too.
Sweep!
I like curling.
Kidding me? It's so hilarious that like I did not get it until I walked into the building and I went, I get it now.
I think I'm interested in flag football because of these former players. Now, when it gets to the Olympics, not counting Rajon Rondo, if it's just like the 3 of us on a team, I don't know how much that gets me going. But I'm down to watch these guys play flag football in a non-Pro Bowl style of it, like in an actual competitive environment and not this like fake dress rehearsal thing, which the Saudi thing will be. It will be a fake dress rehearsal.
Somebody said on the YouTube text line, kind of adjacent to this, of like, well, who's the Saudi dude at the boxing match with Canelo and Crawford? And it's like, that's the guy that owns it.
Yeah.
That's the Saudi PIF fund is. Well, let me see what that fund's worth right now. I want to say it's $700 billion. Saudi PIF fund value. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Oh, yep, nope, it's more.
It's a lot of dollars.
Oh my God!
How many dollars?
Take a wild guess.
I'm gonna go with.
Does it start with a T?
$2 trillion. 1.6 trillion.
$1.2 trillion.
And is this the guy that owns UFC and WWE?
I mean, they're all a part of this. It's the Saudi investment.
Does
it's
he own Live Golf too?
Yeah, that's where it's. You can't spend it.
Whoa.
It's such an insane amount of money. You can't spend it.
I also
like that's.
They might actually print money and just wash it.
Like when you're talking about,
I'm pretty sure they're just like
when you're talking
money.
trillion, you can't spend it.
Right.
Like that's
no, you can't.
That's the and that's why that's why it's going everywhere.
Well, you could spend it on clean water for the entire world. You could spend it on
that wouldn't cover
poverty.
That wouldn't cover it. Like legitimately.
But you could spend it. You could try.
You could not spend.
If I had $1.6 trillion, I would put at least $600 billion towards clean water in the world. I'd give it a shot. Why not?
It wouldn't cost that. That's what I'm saying. Like you could.
Well, I'm sure $600 billion would put a dent into it, though.
Sure, but I'm saying you couldn't spend $600 billion on that.
Oh, it would cost less money?
Yes.
Oh. Well, then move on to the next thing.
But that's what I mean. Like it's the amount of interest we're going to accrue on a fund of that level. You can't spend it.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is that's why that's why there's Live Golf. That's why there's new boxing. That's why they bought UFC. That's why they're buying into every Premier League team. That's why they're buying
can only
into
buy one. These guys have Newcastle.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much, and the sports washing of it all. It is what it is. Like we saw this with the World Cup in Qatar.
Well, it's not just sports washing; it's just washing all their money.
Yeah, I mean
through sports.
And the idea like, oh, Saudis. I saw Katie Nolan get all high and mighty. It's sports washing.
I don't know who that is.
The former ESPN personality, and she's fine, but yeah,
I hate you, Rust.
You do.
Well done. Well done. Well done. I'll give you.
You can put it on the board.
Yeah. I got nothing against her, but she's like, you can just not do this. And I'm like, okay, real quick. I want you to run down the ownership of every team in North American professional sports and tell me how clean that money is. And I'm not
Tom Dundon's super clean. That's my guy.
I'm not saying that to justify.
Can I have courtside tickets?
I'm not saying that to justify the Saudis and what they've done and what they continue to do.
Sure.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, it's a rough look.
But this whole picking and choosing of which is less bad, it's like, no, dog. It's like
all bad.
It's when people tell me like I drive an electric car because it's good for the environment. I'm like, you realize that the production for that electrical car was more significant than the emissions for gas, right? Like it's the picking and choosing of evils and getting high and mighty about that stuff that drive me insane. It's like if you say you want to do something, fine, but don't try to justify it from some other evil that you see as lesser. It's evil, no matter how you slice it.
That battery doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, guys. Like, I get it, and we could make all these changes, and we could do all these things, but this idea that somehow the money that's in the U.S. is better because of it's here.
The USA. I mean, we're clearly a great example.
We talked about this earlier, like, to open the show of like people that are.
I wish I had. I like cows.
You know what I mean? Like the people that are at the very top that are liked.
Mm-hmm.
We rattled off like 6 billionaires right off the gate, and it was like, yeah, because everything they've done has been probably tangentially at worst evil.
Yeah.
So this whole idea of like, again, I don't think it should be in it, but it's so overwhelming, somebody's gonna take it.
Sure, of course.
And you shouldn't be surprised that
the birth
they do.
of capitalism. Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want it, and I want to resist it as long as possible. But you're already seeing
might be long gone.
The NBA is like, well, because there was a group that was gonna invest. Boston, I think it was the Celtics when they don't want it for sale. There was a little like, and then when the Commanders were sold to Josh Harris, there was this big question. because the check had to get routed through the Federal Reserve.
Mm.
And it's kind of funny because there's an actual scan of a $5 billion check, which is just so insane to actually
I
see.
want to write a $5 billion
right?
check.
But everybody's like, well, if it's being routed to the Federal Reserve, that means money is coming in from the outside.
Right.
So did that money come from Saudi? And like people started like talking like, no, we didn't do that. So they found a way to circumnavigate this of like, hey, we can do it this way though. Hey, all you guys that wanted a piece of this money, it's not the NFL now though. So it's just,
Loaded third hour coming up for you. We got the old man yelling at clouds, but he ain't that old. Don't forget that. And can this guy buck the trend that is the Mario Cristobal problems plus closing arguments? We got one more hour to go. Hang out. 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Jeff Rust with your Sports Center update. First on the Fan, the Big Dumper now tied with Ken Griffey Jr. for the Mariners' single-season home run record after dropping bombs 55 and 56 last night. Cal Raleigh and the M's, they have now won 10 straight. Game 2 of 3 at the Royals this afternoon, 4:40 first pitch on Root Sports. Bryce Miller starting for Seattle, opposite Cole Reagans for Kansas City. The Mariners still a half game ahead of the Astros for the AL West lead. Jets head coach Aaron Glenn announcing Tyrod Taylor will start at quarterback Sunday against the Buccaneers as Justin Fields remains in concussion protocol. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo reporting the elbow injury to Chargers linebacker Khalil Mack is not season-ending. After the Commanders lost Dietrich Wise for the season to a torn left quad, they're reuniting with veteran pass rusher Preston Smith, who spent the first 4 years of his career in Washington. And Packers receiver Jaden Reed had surgery on his broken clavicle and a Jones fracture in his left foot. Head coach Matt LaFleur says they expect him back at some point this season. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of Ducks Game Day. Before and after every Ducks football game this season. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM. It's about to get unruly.
Order in the court.
It's Rivalry Week. Ducks. Beavers. This is a Rivalry Week edition of the Firm of Harris and Meringue, brought to you by Roto-Rooter, the experts in plumbing, drains, and water cleanup.
Sadiq in motion to the right, going to pitch it to Lamar going left, and he will stroll into the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon.
Keeping the peace from 10 to 1 on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM, 1080 AM, and the Odyssey app.
All right, 2 down, 1 to go here. Starting a nice little nooner here. After this, you'll get Ducks Insider with Joey Mack, followed by the Fan Happy Hour with Luke Anderson from 2 to 3, and then Primetime 3 to 7 to take you all the way home, finishing up 13 hours of continuous, live, local, regional sports radio.
It's good stuff.
Mo Salah with a goal for Liverpool against Atletico Madrid.
They're not going to give it to him.
That's probably an own goal.
No, it's
but we are officially.
It's a deflection off your guy.
Oh, is it Andy?
Yeah,
I think it's Andy.
Yeah,
the Scottish boy.
Yeah,
Andy Robertson.
He immediately pointed to his chest like, mine.
Screw that Mo guy. Yep. It's mine. Mo, you've had yours.
Mm-hmm. I do love that in soccer, the claiming of the goal. Like, no, mine.
Wow, there's a lot of gambling going on.
Yeah,
like you think football in this country has a lot of gambling? Dude?
Oh no way! The country that used to that started having gambling sponsors in like the 1980s in their jerseys. Like, yeah,
they gamble a lot on football. But if you're curious, Liverpool up 1-0 on Atletico Madrid. I really don't like those guys. Coming up this hour, we'll get into year potential 7 for a quarterback in college football. And why I might be selling myself. And I'm curious, Danny, if you're here too.
That's got to be cheap.
Of can this team finally do it? Can Cristobal exercise his demons? And maybe this is the reason why he can. And that's goal number 2, this time by Mo Salah.
There you go. In Cristobal's sake of exercising those demons, are you saying the power of Cristobal compels you?
Yes.
Okay.
The power of Cristobal consumes you.
That's got to be on a T-shirt, like now. Instead of touchdown Jesus, it's touchdown Cristobal.
Well, was it Josh Pate that said on Dirt and Sprague that if Oregon were to meet Bama in the playoff and lose again, it would be Oregon's 0-4 against DeBoer, and those T-shirts need to be made immediately. I love a good T-shirt.
Look, man, was it the guys at Home Field Apparel? They do.
Yeah, they
do some bangers. Absolute bangers.
You're familiar with Dabo Swinney, correct?
I am. As I've said, closet Dabo fan.
I really tried to talk myself into being a Dabo fan this year, and I think I was doing a good job of it. I was kind of like, you know what? I'm rooting for the guy. he's being a curmudgeon about the new game, and he's got some issues that I don't love either. He is a red ass, but
he's had some really good teams with some really good players and plays a brand of football that I really like.
He's been to 4 national championships and won 2 of them. I really liked his team going into this year. Now, how quickly my mind changed after losing 2 games and making me look like a fool by picking them to win the national championship. But if this feels very calculated from his standpoint about coming to the podium to basically yell at people not asking for him to be fired, like what? Why do you have to do, like, is that your own way to motivate yourself? Like, Dan Lanning is a motivate guy. He is a chip on his shoulder, right? He's like, that's what he does. But he's never, I can't see Lanning going to a podium and being like, oh, you don't like what I'm doing here? Oh, you don't think I'm cool?
Well, let's see what Lanning looks like after he wins 2 national titles.
And this is what it sounds like coming from Dabo when asked, I got a couple clips for you, asked, what's so bad about our program?
What's so bad about our program? What's so bad about it? Like, what's so bad about the worst season that we've had 14 years? How many programs in college football would sign up for one, and only once, 14 years of 9 wins? How many programs would sign up for that? In the playoffs, so we all talk about, we've been 7 times in 10 years. Who can say that? If we stink because we haven't played for the national championship since January of 20, well, I guess we stink. Or we haven't won it since January of 19. We haven't won the national championship. Well, then I guess we stink. But why are we held to a different standard from all these other teams out there?
Is anybody saying that?
Yes.
Are they?
Yeah, locally, regionally, they are. They are.
Look, I think it's a little bit of a disappointment in what's going on right now in the 2 losses, but I'm not ready to sit here and say Dabo's lost it or the program sucks.
Well, I mean,
it's still a high profile. Look, we talked about it at the beginning of the season. If Dabo wins another title at Clemson, like, stamp his ass to the Hall of Fame.
I mean, he already is.
I mean, he already is, but
like,
I mean,
you put him
like
in
the upper echelon.
You put him as like one of the 5 best college football coaches.
He sits with like Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes and Bear Bryant and Nick Saban.
Like,
yeah,
that's the list.
That's the list. Yeah.
So, but there's another clip in here that I think kind of illustrates this a little bit more. And they had the close game with Troy, and they dropped the game to LSU, and then they dropped the game to totally blanking who they lose this weekend.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Thank you. Who again? Georgia Tech I think is very, very good this year.
They've proven that. Yeah, they're a lot better than we thought.
But I think if there's a coach in college football who can kind of double barrel everybody, it's him and Kirby Smart. That's the list.
Yeah, that is the kind of the list. Yeah,
those are the only guys. Nobody else in college football can be like, you know what? I'm going to need you to shut the hell up.
Yeah, not right now. If Day gets another one, he can double bird.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, all that, and that's what I wonder if I wonder if Dabo's starting to feel the cracks and feel the pressure of being one of the last quote unquote old timey guys. Well, because a lot of them got out of football because they don't like what the game is.
Do you have the other clip of his record?
Mm-hmm. If they want me gone, if they tired of winning, they can send me on their way because that's all we've done is win. So if they tired of winning, we've won this league 8 out of the last 10 years. Is that not good? I'm just asking. Is that good? I don't know if that's good or not. To win your league 8 out of 10 years, to go to the playoffs 7 out of 10 years, to be in 4 national championships, win it twice. Yeah, we're a little down right now. Take your shots, but I got a long memory in case y'all don't know.
Just like you can say what you want about Dabo, and you can be like, I don't like him. You can't argue with that.
No.
Has Ohio State won 8 out of the last 10 Big Ten titles?
Yeah.
Have they?
Wait, no. Sorry. And you don't hear it scream. Well, I mean, before the national championship last year, Ryan Day, like, the time was getting real short for him. Now, he won the Natty, which helped him out. I would argue that Harbaugh was kind of getting the same way. So a lot of guys get real close. Look, James Franklin's in this boat right now. Okay, how many Big Ten titles has he won?
Okay,
Squadoosh.
Let's go real quick. Over the last couple of years, these are your Big Ten title winners: Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State, Ohio State, Michigan State, Wisconsin. They shared title with Michigan State in 2010. So in the last 15 years, Ohio State has 5. 5 in the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the ACC is not the Big Ten, but my point is he's won 8 of the last 10 ACC titles. He has 2 national titles.
4 appearances. Goes to the playoff frequently.
Does he have a Heisman winner? No.
No, he does not.
Oh, shucks.
But he's got 2 number 1 overall draft pick quarterbacks.
Right. So it's like, you're like, well, that was what?
And watch someone fall in love with Cade Klubnik in the combine.
But the whole thing is like, and that was what? His last national title was 5 years ago. Not 50, not 15, not 10. It's 5 years.
Yeah. This isn't a Kirk Ferentz situation where he won the Rose Bowl 10 years ago.
And it's not even a Rose Bowl. It's a natty.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his first.
I like this comment on the YouTube chat. Sad part of this clip is that he's right, but he said it totally wrong. And that's where I'm starting to wonder if the cracks are there, if the foundation of Dabo himself is not there, because now you're yelling at people. Like, you're yelling at your local media.
I think Saban would have been the exact same way.
You think so?
So remember, they get in that
he'd be like, oh, I guess titles don't mean anything to you.
Saban, let's say he stays another year after miraculously sliding into the college football playoff because of Florida State and whatever thing that happened there, because they shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Florida State should have been there. We could have that argument, blah, blah, blah. And let's say that Nick Saban comes out and goes 9-4. You don't think Alabama and that fan base doesn't lose their S?
Are you smoking crack?
Are you like, well, does Saban have it anymore? You know what I mean? Like, and you're talking about the greatest college football coach of all time.
But I think that's where the narrative is in college football now, is that
it's
that
the what have
not
you done
have
for me?
anymore.
But
because the game is so different than it was 5 years
It's
ago.
what have you done for me lately?
I know, but also the game is so different than it was 5 years ago. That I think we're in a period right now where what have you done for me lately needs to be a little bit on pause.
I don't think it's that different from 5 years ago in the sense of Clemson was not recruiting at the level of Georgia and Bama. Now, they were up there. Don't get me wrong. They were the bag man was strong.
It just took the right influx, the right time.
And the right coach.
Yeah.
Look, again, I find myself in a weird position of defending Dabo.
Well, you said it. You're a closet Dabo guy. I tried.
I am in the sense of like, if you're asking me right now if my school had the success over the last 15 years of what Dabo has had at Clemson or anyone else not named Nick Saban, you're insane if you don't take that.
Yeah.
And you have to keep that. Duck fan, instead of losing those natties, how happy you to win 2 of them?
You'd be very, very happy.
And if you came for his neck, you would be an idiot. Now, if they go out there and they win 5 games, then you can say there's cracks. If he finishes the season 9-3, shut up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I view these. See, it's interesting. You're looking at it from like where the how the media's backlash on it. And I'm kind of looking at it just where his mental psyche is. Is it seems so defensive.
Well, it's so reactionary. Like, I don't like Brian Kelly. That question being the first question in a press conference, hey, your offense sucks, after your defense was just insanely good.
This is where we disagree.
It's again, that's not the question you asked there.
I don't need to kiss your ass to get you to give me a good response. I want the meat and potatoes.
No, you don't need to kiss my ass. That's not kissing your ass. That's not the story out of that game. The story of that game is you had 5 freaking interceptions.
And did nothing with it. That's the first question I want to ask.
No.
Lagway threw 5 interceptions.
Why?
Because he's not very good.
Or maybe because the defense was in his face the entire game.
I watched that game and I was like, he's got 4 interceptions right now. If he doesn't have a pick 6, they only have 13 points.
That's fine.
His team's not very good.
The story is that defense is insanely good.
It is really
good. The secondary story is if the defense
that's the story of the season. The story of that game is the offense, in my opinion.
How is the story of the game the offense when you have 5 interceptions?
Because Florida's terrible, and that's why they
And guess what happened?
And you did nothing with it.
What happened?
They won the game.
Thank you.
Still story out of the game.
If they lose that game, that's the first freaking question. Your defense is a world beater. What the hell is going on with your offense?
Turned the ball over 5 times, and you had 3
and you
scores.
won. And you won.
Meh.
That's all I'm saying. And again, that Florida defense.
Agree to disagree.
And that Florida defense.
Don't like you right now.
That offense might suck.
Yeah.
That Florida defense is very good.
It was good.
It's very good.
It was good. All right, we come back. Can you get 7 years when you're only allowed to have 4? We'll do that next. 105.1 The Fan.
Now, what did I do wrong?
We think.
Have you ever been to a volcano?
As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
Hey, Peter, man. Check out Channel 9.
I'm just vibing the song. I just wanted to keep going.
I saw this, Return to the Mac, and like 3 other songs. That was some like, Gen Z, Gen Alpha TikTok of like, it's just a song. Anybody born in the 80s was doing like the Vogue dance to it, like from
like Madonna?
Madonna was also on the list, but it was like A Night at the Roxbury. It was like, yeah, if you were born in the 80s, like there's like 5 songs like that come on. It's like you're immediately just doing the Night at the Roxbury, like full on head tilt.
Believe by Cher. I want to give a shout out to whoever wrote that. I'm going to assume it wasn't Cher.
How dare you assume she doesn't write her own songs?
Just going to go out on a limb there. One of this show's favorite quarterbacks is Diego Pavia. Am I not mistaken by that?
Hmm?
We like ourselves some Diego Pavia.
I like some Diego Pavia.
I think just the moxie and the you want to talk about talking trash when you ain't got a shot. This guy loves talking trash when you ain't got a shot. And then
we're going to win a national title.
And sometimes delivers. Well, he ain't going to deliver on the Natty.
Yeah.
But they beat South Carolina. That's 2 years in a row knocking out a top 10
now,
team.
when they do go, let's see what happens when they go down to old Tuscaloosa.
Oh, I get it. I know.
I will be seated. That's what I'm saying for that game. I will be seated for that game.
But Diego Pavia is attempting to get
he's not attempting to get a 7th.
Right.
This is to set the precedent.
Correct.
For red shirts and transfers and eligibility. So On3 had the report yesterday that Vanderbilt QB Diego Pavia's attorney has set the stage to challenge the NCAA for a 7th season of eligibility. Diego Pavia responded and quote tweeted it almost immediately with, "Cap, this is my last year," with a handshake emoji. But what he's trying to do is set the precedent going forward for eligibility. Because eligibility, if you're looking at this from a legal standpoint, eligibility should not exist.
What do you mean?
It should not exist.
How so?
How should it exist?
You can't play in college till you're 30.
Why not? If you were enrolled in pursuing a degree, why not? Give me a good legal reason why.
The way your body is. I don't think there can be 30-year-olds hitting 19-year-olds.
Why not? There's 17-year-olds that aren't.
It's the same rule as to why you have to be in college for a certain amount of years before you go to the NFL.
There's a 29-year-old that Bill Orm did the profile on that was at Southern Oregon playing college basketball last year.
Yeah, but that's at a smaller program, though. He's
20. No. Legal standpoint. See, this is what I'm talking about. I know you hate that I'm right.
I know. No, I hate that there's no way I can come up with something that you're going to listen to.
No, I'm listening to you, but like, you can't.
That's a smaller program.
You can't slide the dials.
Dude, this isn't a 32-year-old dude who's the size of Myles Garrett who has decided, I'm going to go to college now for the first time. Oh, and I'm going to suit up for UW's defensive line. That's a whole different situation. Playing basketball at Southern Oregon, this isn't a shot at Southern Oregon, but being 29 years old and playing basketball at Southern Oregon is not being Kevin Durant and deciding, oh, you know what? I'm going to go to Texas this year and play college basketball.
How is it any different than Myles Garrett as Myles Garrett in college football?
Because at Myles Garrett's age in college football, his body was not developed to be the insane psychopath that he is now.
I would disagree with that.
If Myles Garrett were in college football right now, he would end people's lives.
But if he was that good, where would he be?
In the pros.
There you go. Problem solved. If the 32-year-old's good enough, guess where he's at?
I see where you're going. I'm not into it. I think you have a time period. This isn't minor league baseball.
See, but that's the legality of this all.
Because minor league baseball is a professional sport.
Sure.
I mean, it's semi-pro,
but that's why
it's not collegiate.
That's why you have to pick the choice,
right?
Whether to go to college or go to minors.
Right.
Like if you go to minors, you can't flip and go back.
I hear it. I'm not into it though.
I know you're not into it. Again,
it's a body development thing.
But if your body is developed enough and you haven't played professionally, why not?
I guess okay. I hear you on that. Why not? But I think you're going to find.
We had the was it the 48-year-old that played for a D3 school?
But you're going to find more often than not that body's developed and you're now going to college, but that body was never going to be at a pro level, so it's not a problem.
Okay, but you could argue right now that Jeremiah Smith is a pro-level body.
I agree.
At his age.
I agree, but all bodies are different, and you can't lump them into one. That's why the rule is there to protect the small.
I don't think it's there
and
to
not protect the big.
I don't think it's there to protect anybody other than the NCAA and their money.
Wow. That might be a different conversation, but I do think it's there because you don't want somebody who plays running back for 1 year. You don't want to take one of these kids at Oregon right now who has one good season at Oregon, then goes behind a bad offensive line in the NFL and gets his legs snapped in week 2.
It happens.
At 19 years old? No, it's there might be some of that in there to protect the NCAA and their money, but some of that is also to just protect the human body.
Could Jeremiah Smith play in the NFL right now?
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
But he's one of one.
But you can't legislate that. It has to be all or none.
I see. This is where we're on. This is where we're on the opposite side.
This is the legality of it all.
You think it's more punishing those that can.
Yes.
And I'm saying it's protecting those that can't. If that's not the best way to describe you and me as humans, I do not know what to tell you. That is the most spot on thing I've ever thought of when it comes to not in a bad way, just how we look at things.
But particularly athletes, you either are or you aren't.
Yeah.
If you're not big enough, you're not strong enough, you know what you do? You go play at Southern.
Mm-hmm.
And again, no shot at Southern. We love Southern here.
My boss went to Southern.
Yeah, there you go. Our boss, collectively.
My boss.
No, our boss.
I claimed him.
But that's my point.
I've
and again,
known him longer.
I'm not taking like a strong stance on this because this is like something I firmly believe in.
Sure.
But I'm looking at this from a holistic legal scale in where college athletics are, and everything, like basically everything the NCAA laid out was a sham.
Well, legally you could challenge it, but the NFL can still stick by their rule.
But see, the NFL is a wholly different institution.
Right. They could stick by their rule.
But I'm talking about the eligibility and years and all of those things. If you're an enrolled student pursuing a degree, and
who came up with the number 4? Why is
where
it
did
4?
that number come from?
Fair question.
Why did because of the age?
Where did the red shirt come from? Well, we know what the red shirt came from, but yeah, why did 4 come? Probably age, 22, considered more of an adult.
Sure, but it's like, but to my point, it's like, but why? And that's what the courts are for, to challenge that stuff. Yeah. And Pavia is a great example in his legal team. I hope they're able to just again double barrel the NCAA and be like, you made a rule that's not founded in anything. And I hope they get a judge who's like, yeah, no, guys, hey, NCAA, the burden of proof is on you. Why does this exist? Because if you can't produce a good enough reason for this to exist, I'm going to allow it.
Let's take a break on this. Let's continue this conversation. I'll read some thoughts on the text line, 503-864-6326. Also the YouTube chat. Join us in on this. We'll keep this discussion up. I did not expect to go this route. I just wanted to have a fun conversation about Diego Pavia and playing 7th year. But, you know, Danny, I don't agree with you. But I'm interested in fleshing this out a little more.
There's a text on here. Yeah, no, there's a text on here that we have to get to.
I know which one you're talking about. We'll get to that next. But the kahuna over there, he's got sports for you.
You mind if I have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down?
This is a Rivalry Week edition of the Firm of Harrison Meringue, brought to you by Roto-Rooter. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Mixed plates like Grandma used to make. If your grandma were from the Big Island, Woodstock, Burnside, Beaverton, or online at ate-oh-ate.com. First on the Fan, the Big Dumper now tied with Ken Griffey Jr. for the Mariners' single-season home run mark after dropping bombs 55 and 56 last night. Cal Raleigh and the M's have now won 10 straight. Game 2 of 3 at the Royals this afternoon. 4:40 first pitch on Root Sports. Bryce Miller on the hill for Seattle opposite Cole Reagans for Kansas City. The Mariners still a half game ahead of the Astros for the AL West lead. Over in the National Football League, Jets head coach Aaron Glenn announced Tyrod Taylor will start at quarterback Sunday against the Buccaneers as Justin Fields remains in concussion protocol. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo reporting the elbow injury to Chargers linebacker Khalil Mack is not season-ending, but head coach Jim Harbaugh says he is headed for injured reserve, so he'll miss at least the next 4 games. After the Commanders lost Dietrich Wise for the season to a torn left quad, they're reuniting with veteran pass rusher Preston Smith, who spent the first 4 years of his career in Washington. Packers receiver Jaden Reed had surgery on his broken clavicle and a Jones fracture in his left foot. Head coach Matt LaFleur says, though, they do expect him back at some point this season. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Fan Happy Hour with Luke Anderson. Weekdays 2 to 3. The Fan Sports Network. 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Closing arguments coming up next. That'll send you on throughout your day. To call it a day for us. Always remember, Football Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. Sylvester Stallone is back in the original hit series Tulsa King. This season, Dwight faces his most dangerous adversaries yet, forcing him to fight for everything he's built and to protect his empire. Stream the new season of Tulsa King on Sunday, September 21st, exclusively on Paramount Plus. 503-864-6326. The YouTube chat. I want to read some of these. The number 4, this has been texted in by a couple people and mentioned on the YouTube as well. 4 is the thought of how long it takes to finish college. So that makes more sense. I should have thought about it that way from the student academia world. It's just been a long time since I've actually thought about college athletes as student athletes.
I completely understand that. And
totally.
I get where it's coming from. But
to your argument there, the average time to finish college for kids these days is 5 years.
And
maybe that's the red shirt.
But not even just that. Why can't I pursue another degree?
Sure. There's the grad student transfer thing, majig.
PhD, or
if
you just want to pursue another degree.
To one of the other points that was texted in or mentioned, engaged with, is there is no law preventing you from going to the NFL. It's the NFL's rule.
It's the NFL's rule, yes.
Yeah, and I meant to say that. I knew that. But I think the NFL does that to protect bodies at their age.
But to get back to the age thing, BYU probably has the oldest average age roster in college football every single year.
Yeah, because they go on the missionaries. Someone texted in Brandon Whedon. I teased Chris Wanke, and I totally forgot Chris Wanke went on a mission, and that's why he was...
Was it Wanke 27?
27 at Florida State when he won a natty.
I think I've heard Suk say he had a guy on his team who was 29.
I believe
when he was in college.
The religious aspect does change things.
But that's my point. It already exists in this whole clutching of pearls of nope. Is anybody clutching pearls over BYU? When BYU had a chance to win the Big 12 title last year, was anybody out there? But BYU's older.
Nope. But I do, and I don't want to get into this because that's not what we do here at the station or what we do on this show. Some of that is a little bit of the religion. Like, people don't want to chastise BYU because it's chastising them as a religious institution. That their
I don't think that would stop anybody.
I know, but their exception to the rule is godly based, and I think in America that tends to lean in that direction in a lot of places. Tends to let that go because it's a godly matter.
Even with that being said, you would still have the pearl clutchers up in arms about it because it's unfair. Those guys are older. They're, to your own point, I'm not giving you crap, but they're 29 years old, Patrick.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the reason is.
27 at quarterback and winning a natty.
If you're sitting here saying some 32-year-old guy, what is the difference between 29 and 32?
Healthier knees at 29.
But you know what I mean?
I follow.
It's already there. Mm-hmm. So this whole eligibility thing, if you're going, and again, where it gets dicey, I'll grant this on the other end of the spectrum. When you've got the fake North Carolina classes, that's a different story.
And that's why I was kind of making the joke of it's been a long time since I've thought of them as student athletes.
But if you're going to school and you are actively pursuing a degree and you have the requisite number of credits that you are going for, why not? That's the argument that they're going to present.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because you're going to highlight BYU. You're going to highlight Chris Wanke. You're going to highlight Brandon Whedon. When the age stuff comes up, the precedent is a mile long.
Yeah, I like this. I like this thought too. That comes in. Where did you go? It's talking about WHL and how there's a law there's the rule in the NFL if you're under 20. They cannot play in the NHL minor leagues. They got to be on the junior roster or in a college in WHL. Maybe this goes further than just college football. Maybe this busts the door open across the board for amateur guys. I mean, we know in football it's going to semi-pro with unions and guaranteed wages and rights and stuff like that.
And that's what this is going to set the precedent for. If you're going to say it's 5 years, let's just land on 5. Mm-hmm. Then everybody has to agree to it. But then you have the questions of age and all the other things, and then granting of waivers, and then it becomes rules for thee, not for me.
Right.
That's why I think this is going to get blown out of the water.
You also don't like the idea that obviously you hate the number to begin with, so you won't like this, but just to bring it up for some more context, is once your clock starts, you can't pause your clock.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
And there are ways for injury playing time. You
But
get
like
a red shirt and a gray shirt.
Hey man, I'm not doing well right now. I need to step away.
My brain's not in a good spot. I just got to college. I miss my mom. I drink too much.
The Oregon tight end, McCormick. How many years did he play? 8? 9? Yeah. How many years did he end up playing?
I think it was about 8.
So why can't anybody else have 8?
I mean, injury exceptions.
But I mean, but that's the argument that's going to be presented is why is it the injury that allows for it and not for S's and G's?
Right. Right.
If
when does mental health become a gray shirt?
You know what I mean?
How many gray shirts can you have?
And if you put a limit on that, you know what's going to happen? Somebody's going to sue you over that and go, well, you know what? You don't know what world somebody's living in.
But you will also create people that will take advantage of the situation, and now all of a sudden
that is true. Now all of a sudden, every single rule.
Yeah.
Every single rule that has ever existed, and it's not just in college sports. You want to talk about religion, interpretation of religion across the board, whether one sect or another's interpretation of law.
Right.
Biblical or otherwise. There's always some version of rule manipulation that benefits or hinders somebody else.
And as a baseball guy, I always, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Just don't get caught.
And that's kind of what I'm saying with this. And that's what I'm not sitting here. I know what position I've staked here. I am not campaigning for 29-year-olds to take over college football because they couldn't make it in the NFL.
Right. I don't think you are. I just think that's what it might turn into.
But if you, fine. For every Jaden Rashada and Nico Iamaleava that makes a stupid decision, there's 500 guys that benefit.
Yeah.
There's DeColdest, what was DeColdest's last name? Crawford. He's out there getting an AC deal. Mm-hmm. He's getting an air conditioning deal from a company in Nebraska because his name rules.
Hell yeah, brother.
And why can't he stay there? If he's not good enough for the NFL and he pursues his career and this AC company is going to keep paying him $150,000 a year and he can live that life, why not? And Nebraska wants to keep him. Why can't they?
USA.
That's my point with all of this stuff. The NCAA has reigned as an overlord supreme for far too long.
It's coming to an end.
With no grounding in any reality.
No, it's all just been what we say goes. And it is going to come to an end for them. All right, when we come back, we'll call it a day. Closing arguments are next.
and Meringue is wrapping up for the day.
You want answers?
Which means it's time for the closing arguments.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
On the Fan Sports Network.
You can't handle the truth!
105.1 and 1080, The Fan.
All right, that'll do it for us. Adios.
Nothing. Russ is like, I'm not gonna let you get me today. Didn't chum the water appropriately.
God, I hate you guys.
He was like, I'm gonna do it again. I go, good. He's just sitting down. He's not paying attention. He'll be scrambling.
My Liverpool Atletico Madrid game is 2-1.
I want to get treated like this. I'd go home to my wife.
If I want to be treated like ass, I'd talk to my wife.
Screw you guys. I'm going home. Wait,
Yeah.
no, that's where home is.
If I wanted to be made fun of all the time, I'd go hang out with my real friends.
Right? Exactly.
I had to explain that to somebody the other day. They're like, do you always give people like an endless amount of hell? I'm like, no, not if I don't like you.
Yeah.
If I don't like you, I just ignore you.
Yeah, I kind of stay away from you if I don't like you.
Yeah. Like that's just
I'm sorry, what? I wasn't paying attention.
There's a guy at a bar that I frequent that we've known each other. I used to be his neighbor. I didn't know that he lived there. We found out later. But I've probably known this guy for 8-10 years. We run across each other maybe once a month. I don't think we've spoken to each other in 4 years.
just nothing.
Nothing. I refuse to acknowledge his presence as a human being.
I like that.
Well, I find him kind of a jerk, if I'm being honest.
There's a
talks trash about people behind their back, and then some guy he works with is an old friend of mine, and he
said
was
some sideways stuff,
talking trash about him to me, and I was like, dude, I kind of don't like you. Why are you trashing one of my boys who you hang out with all the time? So I just decided one day I'm never going to speak to you.
I'm good.
And it's been probably 4 years.
There's like a Stickman animated comic that I saw on social media. They're highlighting like guys' relationships. It's like the girlfriend or the wife is like, she walks in and she's like, do you guys ever say anything nice to each other? And like, no. They're like, and she's like, isn't it your birthday? And he's like, oh, yeah, it is my birthday. And the friend kind of goes, oh, well, happy birthday. She's like, what, you didn't know it was his birthday? He's like, I don't even know his last name. She's like, how long have you known him? He's like, oh, we've known him since kindergarten.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think they say, like, guys will pick friends when they're 8 years old, and that's it.
Yeah. And it's like, he's like, oh, I've known him since kindergarten. And he goes, she goes, you don't know what his birthday is? He goes, no, but I know he'd drive me to and from the airport. Yeah. That matters infinitely more. That guy brain is like,
I did once work at a place that was full of dudes like that just ripped on each other all the time. And I came home and I was bringing that home. So I was like throwing zingers at the kids, throwing zingers at the wife. And one day she's looking at me like, you're being a jerk. Yeah, and it's like, it's not fun.
I did that for 7.5 years.
And you're hanging, and you're bringing it home from work. And I was like, oh, no. Then I stopped working there.
Yeah, and then that's what I do here.
I know.
You bringing it home now?
Jeff and I are abused every day.
You are.
No, it's great. You actually set me up to be a giant failure. So when I go home, I'm just like quiet and take the abuse and don't fight back.
We just got battered radio syndrome.
Yeah. My wife's like, wow, you never argue with me anymore. And it's like, I know, babe, because you're always right.
It's easier that way.
Yeah. By the way, can you go do this? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Funny enough, my wife was like, I love Danny. He's great.
She's like, I wish I could do that to you all the time.
Yeah.
Just yell at you.
Just yell at you. Fortunately, my wife doesn't yell at me very much.
You know what?
Not a whole lot of reason to.
I need to get with old preschool and be like, hey, what are some pressure buttons that I can really push?
Now I'm trying to think, what would her answer be?
That way, the things she wants to do or she wants to say, she's like, it's too mean. I'll do it.
I'll tell Danny. He'll do it.
I'll do it. You want to see his reaction? You can see it live on YouTube. YouTube.com/1051 The Fan. Now I can see the existential dread across your face. Like, crap.
Yep, sure am. Some of my wife's students' parents listen to this show. I want you to know she's a wonderful educator. And it's fantastic. Your kids are in wonderful hands.
Yeah, she's outsourcing her hatred. Yeah. I love that.
Yep.
That's when you've really reached it. You're like, I don't even have to do it. I have somebody who does it for me.
I do love my wife. She is quite wonderful. Can we go yet? I'm not hearing any music, Russ. Where's the music?
I'm watching the clock.
Music.
Oh God! Oh God! The YouTube! Oh God!
What?
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
I
don't know what that means.
Definitely don't read that out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't read that out.
Not even if I don't even know what that is.
Oh God!
Well,
but I don't even know what that is.
Go for it. Go for it.
No. I'm not gonna say it. Now I'm terrified. Is there a filter on the YouTube?
Let's
Like,
see.
can we get in trouble for things people say?
It's the opposite of dominant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, like being a bottom. I got it. I got it.
You definitely got a cat suit at home.
Why we gotta poop on cat people?
Well, they don't call it a latex dog suit.
They call it a latex cat suit?
Yes.
Oh. Like Catwoman? Like Michelle Pfeiffer?
Exactly.
That's hot.
I see nothing wrong here.
You get all lathered up and get stuffed into a latex cat suit.
Oh, okay. Now I think we're leaning on it. Now I think we're leaning on it. Can I go home?
Almost.
Just gonna sit here quietly and let the clock run out.
Almost.
Sit here quietly and let the clock roll
30
out.
seconds.
We got a good show for you tomorrow. Why coaching is more than just X's and O's. How to fix the Dolphins. Baxter Holmes has arrived. Carson Beck. Amazon. That's Danny. That's Jeff Rust. I'm Patrick. Go do something I do.
Bye. Meow.
We don't need any extra motivation to come in and want to whoop your ass.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in